this topic about protein, muscle building, raw veganism is kind of unknown in the vegan community and for the world in general. I mean, let alone raw veganism is unknown for the majority of the people. Now, building muscle as a raw vegan is unheard of, and people don't believe that is possible. Now, um, this topic is very complex because muscle metabolism has a lot to do with glycogen, glucose metabolism, fat metabolism, physical activity, body mass index, exercise type, caloric intake, grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. You have to circadian rhythm, hormonal profiles, bone density, race, gender, age, has a lot to do with all of these topics, has many variables. So in order to summarize what I know or what I want you to know about this topic is very difficult, to make in a 10-minute video, and I only have 10 minutes, more or less. So how to build muscle as a raw vegan? We have to know the basic principles of plant-based diets to begin with. You know, if you follow me and if you are interested in plant-based nutrition, that plants have protein, right? What is a protein? Protein is a molecule that makes up most of our body, basically. I mean, everything is protein in our bodies. The muscles, the bones, cartilage, joints, the eyeball, etc., connective tissue. And people worry about protein deficiency because loss of muscle mass, when in reality, um, it doesn't happen with enough calories, okay? If you eat enough calories on any diet, you're gonna get your protein. If you eat enough calories for your age, for your height, for your activity levels, you're gonna get enough protein, including plant-based diet. Obviously, if you only eat, I don't know, rice, it's difficult because there are essential amino acids, right? Now that we talk about what is a protein, it's a molecule that makes up most of our body, is a complex molecule that gives a structure, right? Our existence in this physical body has to do with the molecular arrangement of proteins. So proteins are made of amino acids. The amino acids are the essential blocks of proteins. So if you take, let's put the example of a chicken breast, just for the sake of familiarity, because plants have protein, I could have say a piece of broccoli, right? But let's just take an example of a chicken breast because that resembles muscle tissue. If you dissect my biceps right now, that could look like a chicken breast, right? A little bit reddish, but so if you take a slice of a chicken breast or my biceps, for example, you're gonna see that the muscle units are called sarcomeres, and the sarcomeres are a lot of proteins arranged in a very particular way. You can open an anatomy book, you can open a histology book, but then if you really, really go into details, not only microscopic but nanometers, you're gonna go into the molecular level, and you're gonna find that those basic units of muscles are composed of amino acids, right? And amino acids are tiny, tiny molecules that there are about 20 of them, but 9 of them are essential, the right number. 9 of them are essential. What essential means? Essential means that we need to ingest them from our diet. The rest of them, the remaining, 11, we can make. Our body can recycle our own body parts and make those non-essential amino acids. But the 9 essential, we need to ingest them. And some of them are more important than others. And the people who advocate for a carnivore diet or an omnivore diet, and people who don't believe that you can get enough protein from a plant-based diet, they say that the amino acids in plants, including leafy greens, including fruits, including oranges, bananas, pears, tomatoes, cucumbers, including every single class of plants, they say that their bioavailability is less than ideal compared to the animal proteins. To a certain extent, it makes sense because if you think, we look more similar to a mammal than to a plant of broccoli, right? We look more similar to a pig then we look, because we are mammals, then we look to a tree of mangoes, for example, right? So plant protein is slightly different than animal protein in terms of how it's delivered to the body, because the animal protein is already available. There is no cell walls. There is no envelope to digest, right? Especially if you cook it, you kind of denature it as well, but not to the point of not having anything, when you cook it. You still have amino acids to absorb. If you take a piece of broccoli, that's a veggie. And veggies have cell walls. The cells of the plants have cell walls that are difficult to digest, but if you chew them really well, if you use them, if you blend them, in my opinion, is as easily available as any animal protein. That's my opinion. There's no studies about it. But now, if you take fruit into consideration, there is no question that the maximum availability of nutrients is in fruits. Fruits is human-specific diet, so we don't even need to cook a mango to get all the nutrition. And mango is not only carbs. Mango is water, micronutrients, vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin C. There is fat in mango as well, and there is protein in mango as well, in perfect ratios. Omega-3s, omega-6 in perfect ratios for human consumption. So the bioavailability of protein, fat, carbs, nutrients in mango is superior to any piece of meat you can imagine. So the controversy is because all the scientific studies have been done in vegans and vegetarians from the past who are not raw vegan fruit based, that when you compare, there is more bioavailable protein in a piece of meat than in broccoli. Yeah, because you're not comparing it to fruit, right? That's the point. So don't get misled or disappointed or discouraged to go raw vegan, plant-based, or mostly raw vegan or high raw vegan. Whatever is in you can do with your budget, right? Because raw veganism can be expensive. Don't be discouraged just by this argument. There are so many arguments against why vegans cannot build muscle, or it's impossible to build muscle as a raw vegan. No, there is successful raw vegan body weight lifters, bodybuilders, weightlifters, fit people, and everybody has muscle. The problem here is that people want to look very muscular, because it's aesthetically pleasant, right? Everybody looks at somebody who is very trim, very fit, and it's kind of like desirable to have that type of body. But these people work out for so long to accomplish that. Regardless of the type of diet that you are, if you eat enough calories with enough protein in your diet, you're going to develop muscle mass if you put yourself to the level of effort, discipline, and commitment that these people who are bodybuilders do. Now, the steroid topic, the anabolics, all of that is another subject. This is not part of the discussion. It's how to build muscle naturally. Obviously, if you take steroids, you are super big, right? Like you grow fast. Has to do a lot of with hormones as well. But when it comes to raw vegans building muscle, I think that right now, just by my daily move, I am having muscle. Now, I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not a fitness competitor. But if I wanted to, what I would do is to tweak a little bit my macros to accomplish my goals faster. I already have muscle mass because I exercise. Not as a bodybuilder, but I exercise. And I'm happy with my body composition. I am at my healthiest weight ever. I have energy for my age, for my activity levels. I have a full-time job. I still have the time to exercise. I don't rely on caffeine or energetic beverages just to, work out or anything like that. My food, which is living food, fruits and veggies, give me all the energy and nutrition and calories that I need. But if this is the caveat. I've noticed over the times that I've been watching raw vegans, because I like to observe. I don't like to criticize or judge. I like to observe, to draw conclusions and the best knowledge. So, you can apply it to your convenience. And in this case, what is convenient for me right now and what I want right now is not the same as what I wanted 5 years ago. So my goals right now, after 5 years of raw veganism, high fruit, right, high fruit. My goals are not the same as when I started my raw vegan journey. My goals before were, okay, I want to get rid of my acne, I want to get rid of my skin problems, I want to get rid of my cellulite, I want to get rid of my varicose veins, I want to get rid of my bloating, I want to get rid of my so many issues that I had, and all of them went away with raw veganism. And now my goal is to, you know, people say don't say your goals, don't tell people your dreams. But if you believe that others are going to affect you, maybe you fulfill this prophecy, like, because you believe that others are going to affect you. But in my case, I declare that my dreams are not interfere, or there's no interference from other people's bad opinions, even if I express my dreams. I feel like if you speak your dreams publicly, now it's kind of like a more commitment. So in my case, it's like, okay, my goal now after 5 years of raw veganism as a high fruit eater is to develop a physique, not of a bodybuilder, but I want to get in better shape. And I want my muscles to be visible, and I want to lose a little bit of body fat. Not that I'm not happy with my weight, not that I'm going to undereat, not that I'm going to deprive myself or anything. I'm just going to tweak my macros because, or I have understood that in order to develop that physique, which is not necessary, right, it's more for aesthetic purposes, you need to increase your protein intake. All the raw vegan bodybuilders that I know and high raw people that I know and that have an amazing physique, they increase the amount of protein that they eat, and they keep the calories in optimal levels according to their age and gender. The recommended values around 2,000 calories. But if you want to lose body fat, you have to lower slightly your calories, not to the point of starving yourself or to the point of um, under functioning, but just a little bit less so you can lose body fat and increase your protein so you can rather build muscle instead. Keeping the same body weight, not losing weight, just decreasing your body fat percentage and increasing your muscle mass. And in order to do that, you need to tweak the percentages. And the percentages that I'm talking about is the approach 80-10-10. And respect I appreciate so much Dr. Doug Graham. I think his 80-10-10 book and concept is top notch. I feel like he summarizes all this wealth of knowledge that has been accumulated through the years in the natural hygiene community, in the medical community that are plant-based, when we focus on carbs, right? High carb, low fat, low protein. And my conclusion, right, as I was saying or expressing my idea, my conclusion after watching all these raw vegans over the years and watching myself as well, because I like to experiment on myself before recommending anything, I've noticed that you can have a healthy weight and a very nicely functional life and a healthy life with an 80-10-10 approach. For sure you can do that. But if you want to develop the physique of a very fit athlete, and if you want to grow muscle mass, you need to tweak your macros and you need to increase the protein. Not 50%, right? No, no, no. I'm not saying limiting carbs or, well, maybe yes, limiting a little bit the carbs, but not eliminating the carbs. I still eat my fruit. So I'm doing this change to see if I can accomplish that. That's my goal. I want to accomplish that after 5 years of high fruit. I'm going to go a little bit down on the fruit. I'm still going to have fruit and carbs for my calories, but I'm going to increase my protein. So how do you increase your protein and stay raw vegan? I found 3 easy ways. One is increasing your leafy greens. Romaine lettuce, for example, a head of romaine lettuce has over 5 grams of protein, for example. I think 7 grams of protein per head compared to iceberg lettuce. So I'm going to be very selective on my green intake, right? My greens, which one has the more protein amount. I'm going to be selective and cautious on that. I'm going to increase my amount of chia seeds, flax seeds, and hemp seeds because those seeds have the higher omega-3 over omega-6, and they also have protein. Did you know that 3 tablespoons of chia seeds have 5 grams of protein, and 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds have close to 7 to 9 grams of protein? So it's quite a lot if you think about it. So that's my strategy. That's point two of my strategy. Point three is increasing my sprouts. Increasing my sprouts because legumes and beans have a lot of protein. That's why plant-based doctors and vegans recommend eating beans and tofu and soy and edamame and all of that because they are loaded with protein. So as a raw vegan, I'm not gonna start eating legumes. Uh, Maybe, if in rare occasions I'm not having my sprouts ready, maybe, just maybe I may eat frozen edamame, things like that. I always disclose when I'm not 100% raw vegan, but to stay raw vegan, I'm gonna have my sprouts ready, and I'm gonna increase the amount of sprouts that I eat because they have a lot of protein. So let's see. I'm excited to see if there is any changes. Obviously, I've been informing myself about the subject. Obviously, I've been studying the topic. Obviously, I've been watching. Sometimes when you are in this echo chamber of people talking about the same things, you are not open-minded to believe or to accept or embrace other things. So in this case, after so much consideration and studying and um, evaluating the differences of people who are doing this or that, I've concluded that in order to achieve that physique, which is my goal, I don't need it, right? I'm perfectly healthy just the way I am. I still exercise, I still do resistance training, but in order to build that physique and to have more visible muscles and low body fat, you need to increase your protein. And as women age, we need to increase our protein because regardless of how clean your gut is or how healthy your microbiome is, uh, the processing of protein diminishes with age, and you have something called sarcopenia, which is the decrease of muscle mass over as the years go on. So you need to increase your strength and resistance training, and you need to increase your amount of protein. I'm not saying again like eliminating carbs or fats. I'm just saying increase your amount of protein. Um, According to the bodybuilding community, it say that you need 1 to 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. So my body weight right now is 116 pounds, and it's perfectly healthy for my height because I'm petite. So in order for me to have those protein requirements, I need minimum 100 grams of protein. And with those three measurements that I told you, increasing my greens, increasing um, my omega-3 seeds, and increasing my legumes and bean sprouts, I think I'm going to accomplish that. I am also going to use a trick, which is using Marcus Rothkran's green and protein formula. 4 tablespoons of his formula gives you like 9 grams of protein, something like that. So, to my smoothies, I'm going to add that. And that's raw vegan. It's basically dehydrated, all these herbs and plants that he uses. He dehydrates them and makes them powder, right? And then you have like your protein powder made of plants without cooking, without chemicals or synthetics. So that's my goal. And I encourage you, if you are past 30, the earlier the better, adopt a lifting resistance training regime. If you are exercising, don't just do cardio, do lift weights. So you develop this muscle, because the muscle is a very under-recognized organ, just like the microbiome. Remember that everybody was talking about the microbiome a couple of years ago, was kind of like the boom, the fitness coaches, the nutrition coaches, um, doctors, everybody was talking like, oh, the forgotten organ, the microbiome, take your probiotics. It was kind of like a marketing strategy that some people took the opportunity for that. Yes, the microbiome is a forgotten organ, and not many people know about it. I mean, still, it's 2023, and, still people are wondering if plants have protein. So knowing about the microbiome is deeper knowledge. And now the forgotten organ, which is muscle, especially in our raw vegan community, right, is something that we need to evolve and look beyond our previous conception, which is like, oh, I only need 10% protein or less. Yes, to live a happy life without stress and perfectly functional, yes, you only need around 10% of protein. But if you want to lift weight and grow big and have muscle tone and look super fit and go to these workouts, you need to increase your protein. So I hope this helps you if you are in that journey. I have a pending video to upload to a bodybuilder raw vegan that I interviewed at the Woodstock Fruit Festival last year. So yeah, I have so many things to do, but I think that this video is summarizing exactly my thoughts on the topic as I experiment on myself and as I've concluded based on my observations of different type of people and listening to different fitness and nutrition experts and transpolating that knowledge and applying it to raw veganism. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video and share whoever you think is gonna be find it beneficial. And remember, if you comment under the video, if you like it, if you just drop an emoji, it really makes the channel grow, and the more people come to this knowledge, the faster the society will become more conscious and the world will change exponentially. So don't keep it to yourself. Don't be selfish. Share, like, comment, dislike, whatever. It's just the engagement that matters for the algorithm. And see you in the next one. Bye now.